Buddhism and the Creator. Is there a supreme creator? Welcome back, everyone, to Mind Podcast. The question of a supreme creator is perhaps humanity's greatest question, often fueling intense debates and even wars over conflicting beliefs. How does Buddhism, with its focus on universal harmony, address this concept? Does Buddhism acknowledge a supreme creative force, an omnipotent being, or perhaps a creative principle guiding the cosmos? Buddhism views the universe's remarkable harmony as nothing more than a fortunate coincidence. Let's explore this topic further and examine whether Buddhism accepts the idea of a creator. Modern cosmology reveals that the conditions allowing life and human consciousness to exist in our universe seem almost intentionally encoded. From atomic particles to stars and galaxies, the universe appears to be precisely tuned, as if crafted specifically for humanity. Scientists identify two main factors behind our universe's creation. 1. Initial conditions. Specific starting conditions, such as the universe's total mass and energy and its rate of initial expansion. 2. Physical constants. Roughly 15 physical constants, including the gravitational constant, Planck's constant, the speed of light, and the masses of elementary particles. These constants are measured with astonishing precision, yet science lacks a theory to predict them. In constructing cosmological models, scientists have found that these initial conditions and constants must be arranged in an extraordinarily harmonious order. A minor deviation in any of these values would have made life, and indeed the universe itself, impossible. For example, consider the initial density of matter in the universe. Matter exerts a gravitational pull that counters the universe's expansion, slowing it down. If this initial density were too high, the universe would collapse within a short time frame, 1,000,000 years, a century, or even less. Conversely, if the initial density were too low, gravity would be insufficient to form stars, which means no heavy elements would form, and life as we know it could not exist. The initial density had to be set at an exact value, 10⁻⁻60. Such an extraordinarily balanced state points to a universe finely tuned, but rather than being a product of divine design, Buddhism sees this as an inherent harmony of natural processes, where the universe is not so much created by an external deity, but arises from interdependent causes and conditions. This extraordinary precision can be compared to a skilled archer aiming at a 1 centimeter target positioned 14 billion light-years away, right at the edge of the observable universe. The question arises, is there a creator, a being who crafted the universe so perfectly to allow human life to exist? How do we view this remarkable harmony? According to scientists, we have two choices. 1. Chance or necessity. If this perfection is purely random, we must accept the existence of an infinite number of other universes besides our own, forming what's known as the multiverse. Each of these universes would contain its own unique set of physical constants and initial conditions, though only ours has the exact combination needed for life, making us the lucky winners among an array of lifeless universes. 2. Single universe with creative principle. If we reject the multiverse theory and acknowledge only one universe, ours, then we must consider the possibility of a creative principle that has precisely guided the universe's development. Choosing between these options is challenging, and science cannot decisively support either. Considering the possibility of chance, several theories attempt to explain the universe's creation as part of a multiverse. One such theory, rooted in quantum mechanics, suggests that the universe splits into countless replicas based on choices made, with variations as minor as the position of an electron within an atom. Another theory proposes that in an eternal cycle of big bangs and big crunches, the universe perpetually renews itself, each cycle beginning anew with a unique set of physical constants and initial conditions. Yet another concept, by physicists like André Linde, suggests that our universe emerged from one of many quantum fluctuations or primordial bubbles in space. In this view, our universe is just a tiny bubble in a super-universe, filled with countless others, though none other than ours has the right physical constants to sustain life. Does science have an answer to the creator question, or is Buddhism the key? Buddhism differs fundamentally from other spiritual traditions regarding the concept of a creator. In Buddhism, the idea of a first cause is unnecessary due to the doctrines of emptiness, shunyata, and dependent origination, pratityasamutpada. These teachings suggest that the question of creation is irrelevant because phenomena do not originate from non-existence to existence in an absolute sense. Instead, they exist as part of what is called conventional truth, samvrti satya, a reality constructed by our perception rather than as ultimate, objective realities. Phenomenal reality and illusion of objectivity. Buddhism holds that our experiences of the world, what we believe to be objectively real, is inherently deceptive. When viewed deeply, phenomena are not independently existing realities. Instead, they arise interdependently, devoid of intrinsic nature. This perspective is known as ultimate truth, paramartha satya, in Buddhism, which sees no objective, self-sustained essence in phenomena. Given this, the question of creation becomes challenging, as the notion of a primal origin assumes the absolute reality of phenomena. Creation concepts only become necessary when we believe in an independently existing world. Once we see that phenomena lack independent existence and are ultimately empty of inherent nature, the need for a creator concept dissolves. Dependent origination and causality. While Buddhism does not discount the presence of a manifest phenomenal world, it emphasizes that nothing exists in isolation. Nagarjuna, a prominent 2nd century Indian philosopher, explained that all things arise dependently and lack intrinsic nature. Thus, their emergence and progression are governed not by chance or divine intervention, but by causal interdependence and the laws of karma. This web of causes and conditions shapes everything, encompassing all existence. Since phenomena are not independent, they cannot truly begin or end as isolated entities. Therefore, ideas like the universe's beginning and end belong to conventional reality, not ultimate truth. Alignment with modern cosmology. This view complements modern cosmology, which explores the idea that the universe might lack an absolute starting point. For instance, theories like the multiverse and cyclic universes suggest that our universe could be one of countless interconnected cycles without a single origin or conclusion. Both Buddhist philosophy and contemporary cosmology allow for a reality far more intricate than traditional creator-based models, proposing a universe shaped by interconnected causes and conditions rather than divine orchestration. We observe that only 2 cosmological models truly lack a starting or ending point: a cyclic universe involving an endless series of big bangs and big crunches, or a flat, ever-expanding universe where the density of matter, and dark energy combined only meets the critical density. In this flat model, expansion continues indefinitely, never reaching zero speed, even over infinite time. Current cosmological data lean towards this latter model, suggesting a universe that expands endlessly, rather than a cyclic model with recurring collapses. In Buddhist philosophy, the remarkable harmony of the universe, enough to give rise to consciousness, is neither the work of a supreme creator nor the product of mere chance, as some multiverse theories propose. Instead, Buddhism sees the material universe and consciousness as coexisting since beginningless time, interdependent in a state of mutual harmony. This view asserts that phenomena and consciousness are not separate or arbitrary, but intricately connected through dependent origination, pratityasamutpada. This interdependence creates a marvelous equilibrium, where matter and mind sustain each other without one superseding the other. Neuroscience and consciousness. Modern biology is still far from fully understanding the origin of consciousness. Many biologists argue that consciousness arises solely from physical processes, suggesting it emerges from complex neural networks in the brain once a critical threshold of organization is achieved. In this view, consciousness is not coexistent with matter, but is rather a byproduct of biological complexity. Yet, Buddhism's stance does not imply dualism, the division of mind and matter into separate realities, as in Descartes' dualism. Rather, it emphasizes that both mind and matter, while distinct in the conventional sense, samvrti satya, lack inherent existence or independence. Thus, Buddhism denies ultimate reality to the phenomenal world and similarly rejects the idea of consciousness as an independently existing, self-sustaining entity. Convergence between Buddhism and modern science. Both modern science and Buddhism share key convergences, particularly in their skepticism towards an omnipotent, eternal creator. This non-theistic perspective is clear in Pali and Mahayana Buddhist scriptures, where ultimate truth transcends personal God figures. While science and Buddhism may differ in their approaches and terminology, both realms lean towards a non-dual, interdependent understanding of the universe, one that doesn't rely on a supreme creator, but on natural principles and interconnections. In Mahayana Buddhism, the notion of a supreme creator deity is viewed as an illusory belief that ultimately fails to bring genuine happiness to humanity. This belief does not align with the Buddha's teachings, which prioritize addressing human suffering directly rather than attributing existence or suffering to a divine source. Buddhism regards such beliefs as potentially harmful, as seen in the caste system deeply embedded in ancient Indian society, where social hierarchy was justified by the concept of Brahma as the creator. Each caste was seen as emanating from different parts of Brahma's body, leading to entrenched social divisions. The Brahmins, priests from Brahma's mouth; Kshatriyas, rulers from his arms; Vaishyas, merchants from his thighs; and Shudras, servants from his feet. These fixed roles perpetuated inequality and limited social mobility. The Buddha challenged these societal norms by rejecting the existence of Brahma as a creator and redefining value based on personal conduct rather than birthright. In Buddhist scriptures, there are records of dialogues between the Buddha and Brahmins where he questioned the validity of a creator deity. For instance, when asked if any Brahmin had ever seen or knew the nature or origin of Brahma, it became evident that their belief was grounded not in direct knowledge, but in tradition and faith alone. The Buddha argued that blind faith in a deity often led to intolerance, pride, and conflict when confronted with differing beliefs. Across centuries, Buddhist philosophy has elaborated arguments against the existence of a creator deity, presenting reasoned alternatives. Similar to how Western philosophers have critiqued theological proofs of a supreme creator, Buddhism offers a path rooted in understanding interdependence rather than external causation. For some believers, the concept of a creator serves as a comforting and awe-inspiring figure, deeply connected to childhood traditions and societal norms. However, Buddhism encourages a path towards self-awareness and compassion as means to alleviate suffering, rather than reliance on divine intervention. Through this lens, Buddhism presents a profound departure from theism, emphasizing a path of direct experience and insight to navigate the complexities of life and existence. In the study of mystics across all major religions, their lives and works suggest a profound shift in consciousness, often attained through deep meditation or prayer. Mystics describe a heightened state of awareness, where joy and peace radiate from within, which they interpret as communion with the divine. In such moments, they perceive themselves as intermediaries between God and humanity, leading them to frame their experiences within their respective theological traditions. This quest for spiritual validation often places mystics in tension with religious orthodoxy, which may view their experiences as heterodox or even heretical. Buddhist meditation practitioners, however, approach mystical experiences differently. Through deep meditation, Buddhists seek to observe the nature of reality by recognizing the three marks of existence: impermanence, suffering, and the absence of an inherent self, anatta. This perspective highlights non-attachment to the ego and helps practitioners understand the transient and interconnected nature of experiences. By doing so, they can avoid the trap of misinterpreting fleeting thoughts or emotions as spiritual truths and remain grounded in the direct perception of reality. Advanced practitioners in Buddhism, through sustained meditative insight, reach a state where there's no fixed subject or object. Instead, consciousness flows freely like a river, without attachment to a permanent self or external deity. This state, where the self dissolves in the present moment without a controlling deity, leads to a perspective that contrasts with theistic views. Consequently, Buddhism is often seen as atheistic by those who interpret the absence of a creator deity as a lack of belief in the divine. However, this Buddhist atheism is distinct from the secular or materialistic atheism found in purely materialist philosophies, as it embraces a harmonious view of mind and matter interwoven in a cause and effect framework without the necessity of a creator. In this way, Buddhism offers a path of inner transformation through non-attachment and insight, allowing practitioners to experience freedom from ego-driven desires and emotions. This mystical journey, rather than leading to communion with the Creator, fosters a deeper understanding of the interdependent nature of all phenomena, ultimately aimed at liberation from the cycles of birth and death. Buddhism offers a distinct perspective on creation, one that neither aligns with pure materialism nor endorses the existence of an eternal Creator. Instead, it emphasizes karma, the law of cause and effect, as the cycle that governs the existence of all beings, linking mind and matter in a continuous process of change. In Buddhism, the teachings on non-self, anatta, dismantle the concept of an unchanging soul or ego, which Buddhism views as the primary source of human suffering. This non-self doctrine is not a denial of existence, but rather a pathway to liberation, allowing individuals to transcend desires and attachments and achieve nirvana, a state of profound peace beyond the fires of craving and hatred. Unlike theistic doctrines, nirvana in Buddhism is not an external realm created by a supreme deity, but a state free from suffering, rooted in one's inner transformation. Therefore, Buddhism presents itself not as an adversary of religion, but rather as a counter to the notion of total annihilation, emphasizing instead a constant cycle of renewal through rebirth across the 6 realms of samsara and the tranquil domains of enlightened beings. In Asia, Buddhist values, represented by the 5 precepts and 10 virtues, have historically formed the ethical foundation of societies without needing the fear of divine retribution or promise of heavenly reward. By adhering to these moral codes, Buddhism offers individuals and societies a path grounded in compassion, wisdom, and self-discovery rather than reliance on a supreme deity. Devotees view Buddha not as a distant god, but as a teacher, an embodiment of compassion, recognizing his potential within themselves, a concept that sets Buddhism apart from other religions. Buddhism's philosophical approach and practical teachings go beyond religious boundaries by centering on human experience, suffering, and the cessation of suffering in this life. Although Buddhism can coexist with other beliefs, its lack of a supreme creator makes it unique, providing an ethical and spiritual framework that is open, yet grounded in personal realization and empirical practice. Feel free to share your thoughts on this perspective below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.